A user mentioned this morning that they had a problem with the shortcut that Cygwin creates during the install process. And here they mention that they completed the install, but when they went to click on the icon or the shortcut, that they ended up with this message. It says missing shortcut, Windows is searching for min_tty. To locate the file yourself, click browse. So somehow, whether it was the install or maybe the user accidentally, I don't know, perhaps renamed the location of the Cygwin install. It's hard to say what the issue would be, but this error message is actually pretty clear that it can't find this specifically, this min_tty. And I'll just demonstrate how I reproduce the error. This is the Cygwin installation root. If I go into here, into bin, actually we'll go back. Sorry, I'm going to demonstrate how to reproduce what they experienced. Let's see. We'll rename that. So we rename this to something different. And if we try to run the terminal from that shortcut, you'll see this message here. Windows is searching for min_tty.exe. One thing I noticed that was slightly interesting anyway, in the user's message, it didn't include the .exe. And I was thinking that possibly when this shortcut was created, for some reason it didn't, maybe it didn't include the .exe. But what's interesting, when I try to modify this, say I try to modify it to what I think could have happened, click apply, it says that the target isn't valid. It can't find that. So I'm not quite sure what the issue is, why it would have been created that way. But what we can do is manually create a shortcut that will work just as good as the one that's generated through the install process. So what we need to do is I'm going to rename this back. And you'll notice now, with that set correctly, I can launch Cygwin. We're going to find the min_tty program first. So we just go to the Cygwin 64 directory in the bin and scroll down to where you find min_tty. There it is there. And then right click and do send. Where is it? Yeah, to desktop, create shortcut. And then you notice now when we click on this, it actually does start up, and but it's slightly different. The current directory is user bin, and when we launch the Cygwin shortcut the way that it had intended, it shows the user's home directory, this tilde. And if I do a pwd, you notice it's home/John. And here, it's pretty obvious, it's user bin. So to find out what the difference is, like why is this shortcut working a little differently, we'll right click on it, go to properties, and you'll notice here, this is the command, this is the target command here. And you notice that's Cygwin 64 bin min_tty.exe. Here it's specifying the icon. And then at the end here, there's a dash. And you might be wondering, okay, what is that? What is that dash? If we try to run min_tty.exe and we specify help, gives us some information here on the program. And it says, start a new terminal session running the specified program or the user's shell. If a dash is given instead of a program, invoke the shell as a login shell. And you'll notice here it's specifying the icon, which is, I'm not totally sure that's required, but anyway, that's the way you specify the icon directly through this min_tty program. And then following at the end here, you'll see a dash. And what that dash does is it loads the user's shell, as it says here, as a login shell, right? And you end up in the user's home. So if we modify this shortcut that we created, and even if we just specify a dash, like we don't specify the icon, hit apply, right? And we launch this. Now you notice that we're starting in the user's home directory. So I'm going to close this other one here. The icon is it's not the same icon. If you wanted to change the icon, we can do this here. I tried changing it through the command line here. Sorry, through this target, but it didn't. In my testing, it didn't change anything until I changed the icon here. And we can browse to the Cygwin 64 directory, and we'll just select the Cygwin terminal. And now we've got it there. Click OK, and click OK, and now we've got a similar icon, and the shortcut is working. And then if you want to rename it, you can rename it to whatever you like. I'll just say Cygwin. So either one. In my case, I didn't really need to create this new shortcut. But if your shortcut isn't working properly, just follow these instructions, and you should be able to get this working.